Hi, I'm Jason with SJC Management Group, and I'm here with Heather Pierce of the Rental Housing Association, and we're here to talk about Ordinance 28559. Very exciting stuff. But maybe you can explain what that actually is for us.
Yeah, great. Okay, so Ordinance 28559 is a new rental housing code that will be in effect in the city of Tacoma. It's Chapter 1.95 if you want to look under the Tacoma Municipal Code. The ordinance was published today, and that's an important feature to know because one of the pieces of policy will be in effect 10 days from today, where the rest of the ordinance takes effect on February 1st.
Okay, great. And so that first effect, that's the
60-day notice to increase rent, generally for periodic tenancies, so month-to-month tenancies, but I think it's just to be on the safe side. It'd probably be better if you're planning on a rent increase for any of your renters to do the 60-day notice at this point.
So effective now, 60-day notice, and this affects just the city limits of Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's some other aspects of this as well. So I understand that the 60-day notice is also for termination of tenancy.
Right. So it used to be the 20-day notice, and that's what's actually still applicable at the state level. So 20-day notice to terminate tenancy. In the city of Tacoma, as of February 1st, it will be 60-day notice for month-to-month tenancies. So if you're on a fixed-term lease with a renter, those terms are still applicable.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and then there's a couple others. So I think the big one people also need to know about is the installment plan.
Yeah, that's going to really impact, I think, application process, and also, if you haven't historically charged last month's rent, you might end up doing that now because to mitigate the risk involved with doing installments. But the city of Tacoma now requires that if a renter comes to you in writing and asks for a payment plan on their move-in fees, deposit, last month's rent, you do need to comply with that request.
Okay.
Now, the terms of it is still up to the renter and the owner together. A month-to-month rental agreement would require, though, that the renter pay in two installments, so the first and second month.
And so if you're using a lease, then you could make that as two installments?
So if it's a 3-month or longer lease, it's 3 consecutive installments.
Okay, so 3 consecutive installments on that. And then there's certain requirements for providing information to the tenants as far as linking onto our application, and then as far as giving them some sort of packet.
Right, yeah. So the first part of it, so on your application packets, you'll need to add a link that the city will provide us, before February 1st. That will lead a renter to a website that they will kind of store public information on code violations, and also if there's any HUD or discriminatory finding or proceeding, then that will also be available for renters to see if an owner has violated any of the HUD discrimination laws.
Okay, and then so that's not available quite yet, but that's coming soon from the city.
Supposedly it will be available by the 1st of February. Right?
I hope so.
That's yeah.
Okay, and then it has a couple other things, 120 days notice to terminate, but that's only specifically for rehabbing a property?
Yeah, and I do want to, just because the packet information is really important.
Okay, sure, no problem.
So the second part of the information packet is that you do, at the inception of a tenancy, you need to provide the tenants with a copy of this packet that will be available to you, made available to you by the city. You download it and you give it to your tenant with their lease agreement. And then if there's any updates, you really need to be proactive and go online and see if there are updates, because if you do not provide an update within 30 days of an update, then you can be fined $500 per unit.
And this is for the packet, if the packet's been updated by the city?
Yeah.
Okay, and can that be transmitted electronically?
Yes, it can, for the updates only. And, but if your renter specifically asks that it be in a written format or in paper format, you do have to oblige that.
Okay, so but at move-in you need to give them paper?
Yes, and at renewal if you renew with that same tenant.
Well, that's not very eco-friendly.
No.
I like to do everything paperlessly, so.
Yeah.
But we'll start printing out paper for those movements. Okay, and so then 120 days notice to terminate. You may hear about that, but that's specifically for redevelopment.
So if you're doing a substantial rehabilitation or you're demolishing a building, you're purchasing a building to redevelop it. In that case, you would need to provide 120 days notice to existing renters who are on month-to-month tenancies, and also provide them a packet that lets them know that they can apply for relocation assistance.
Okay, but if I'm just a homeowner, I want to sell my property, so I'm asking the tenants to vacate to do that, it's 60-day notice.
If they're on month-to-month,
If they're on month-to-month, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, the sale of property is not included in that.
And then I understand there are some strict penalties for those who do not comply to these.
Yes, especially to the relocation assistance. So if after the fact, if it's a year later and a tenant, a former tenant could have qualified for relocation assistance and wasn't given 120-day notice, wasn't given the packet for relocation assistance, that's $1,000 per unit for up to 120 days.
Wow.
Per day.
That can add up quick.
Yes, it's a lot.
Okay, so I hope this has been informative for you. Heather, thank you so much for
absolutely.
coming out. It was a real pleasure. If you'd like more information about this, you can check our blog as these links become available. We'll update it. We'll have them on our website. You can get my contact information and Heather's there on the blog post. And if you want more videos like this with information, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks.
Thank you. All right.